A country that is importing food from South Africa. It is importing about 70% of its food stuff, and I think it's something that we cannot allow to happen indefinitely, because you cannot industrialize if you cannot feed your own people. Now, we have a concept here with my wife on the farm that we need to be very self-sufficient when it comes to food production. That is why we have a small garden here to try to make sure that we don't buy onion, we don't buy tomatoes. We have planted and we are irrigating a small garden next to the house to make sure that we have enough onions, tomatoes, green pepper and the likes, things that you need on a daily basis, so that at least we are saving when it comes to food production. And it's also a learning curve, because most of the colleagues that come here, we show them our idea so that they can also duplicate it in their respective area. Now, this is one of the reasons why I believe that Namibia have got the potential. We have not lived up to the Namibian potential, and the government also, in my opinion, will have to be very realistic when it comes to food production. Now with this corona, I think we have learned a lesson or two in terms of, if you are too reliant on other people, especially when it comes to food production, it is a high risk situation. Now, when we come to the farm, we don't really go back to buy stuff to buy the basic stuff in shops. We just come to the garden and we get what we want. We are planning to plant a lot of these aloe vera trees. They are very important. They have qualities of healing a number of illnesses. I got burned recently, and my wife rubbed this aloe vera tree on me, and I did not even have to go to the hospital. I got healed in a very short period of time. That is also part of the food security concept that I spoke about. Poultry is also one of the areas that we want to focus on. This is actually a project that was initiated by my wife. It's got a lot of different types of chicken that we want to expand. Make sure that we can sell eggs to the Namibian people. For different kinds of chicken as fed in respected farms and houses. That is why we decided to move into this project. It is really in its initial stages. I hope that by next year we will have it totally completed. Bush encroachment is a serious problem in this area, especially in the Osho environment. It's robbing the Namibian economy with something like 700 million. So we are using these machines to try to open up the field so that we can recoup the grazing and make sure that at the end of the day we have enough grazing for our cattle. So this is one of the machines that we are using to make sure that we clear the area and we have enough grazing for our cattle. Benefits from cattle farming. We have two economies, one in a northern area and one in a southern area. I still have questions about the need of us having the so-called red line. The red line is actually depriving farmers north of the red line opportunities to sell and market their cattle more productively and get the right prices for the cattle. As a result of that, we have a huge component of our cattle farming that are not properly marketed and utilized. And that is something that one has to look into, bring it to the attention of the politicians. I remember way back in 2006, there was discussions with the Ministry of Agriculture where the promise was made that the red line will be something of the past. The EU have made resources available to make sure that the farmers north of the red line, or the so-called cordon fence, are brought into the mainstream of our economy. It is very unfortunate that since 2006 nothing has happened. Even now when we probe the same issue in Parliament, it is something that the ruling party seems to just shy away from, and they don't want to discuss it. And I am a strong believer that you don't create jobs through economic development. Agriculture, cattle farming could have had quite significant integration, but unfortunately it is now a problem, and we're facing a situation where our beef is only exported to some areas in some countries, but we could have done more. We could have even had a market. The government could have found markets to market cattle north of the cordon fence while they are in a process of discussing the issue of the red land and how and what they're going to do about it. So that is really an economic challenge, and I feel that something serious needs to be done when it comes to cattle farming.